We've had really great experiences with having psychological assessments done of a parent that's not really well. I had a client who I knew wasn't well, and I was worried about his behavior with the kids. And that PhD did a psychological assessment and found that he suffered from narcissistic personality disorder, and literally that he did not understand the impact of his behavior on his children, and found that he should not have unsupervised time with his kids, and that he needed to do weekly therapy and get some help. So that's some really critical thing that a PhD is able to decipher and determine. It's not something I could determine when I first met him, right? It's not something his wife could figure out when she decided to marry him. It's not something his kids could identify, right? Because they're too little to know any better. And it's not something a judge would have realized, right? It's something that a PhD professional needs to determine, and then they will write a recommendation. The child custody evaluator, the person doing the whole evaluation, we'll take that recommendation very seriously, and that will be a part of this more global recommendation that's drafted by the child custody evaluator that the judge is going to review. And more often than not, the judge will rubber stamp this recommendation from the child custody evaluator's report, and that will be made into a court order. So that is the best way kind of to get a judge to understand what's really going on inside your household and what your fears are, what could be going on if your ex has, unsupervised time with your kids or overnights. So it's something you should really strongly consider, and something we, really lean on. If we can reach a negotiation and a settlement outside of doing this whole litigation process, great. That's our priority, right? To not have to go to court, not have to deal with all of the expense and stress of going through litigation. But if your ex has some sort of issue where he or she is not really able to understand the impact of his or her behavior on others, he or she probably isn't going to sign that settlement agreement, right? So we may very well need to armor up and have your back and take care of you through this process to really look out for the best interest of your kids.